All right. So today is a presentation day. Okay, presentation day. So we are on the street. We are on the street. Okay. So the last exam. Oh, let me make some announcements. Okay, CAPSIM simulations. CAPSIM simulations. So practice decision is this Thursday. Okay. So this Wednesday we're gonna have a meeting about CAPSIM simulations. Then your decision due is the next day, the following day. Okay, 7 p.m. I already saw some teams are already moved. Okay, which is great. Okay, you proactively do the simulations. Okay, please try to be comfortable with this game first. Two practice rounds. Okay, so which is good. And exam we done. Okay, we don't have any issues. Okay, very competitive, very competitive. Your scores are great. Okay, so if you want to have a good grade, please you need to have almost 100%, okay, of scores in every dimensions of the your grading systems. Okay, and presentations. Okay? So today we're gonna have a presentations. Okay? Technology, big topics of external environments. Okay, 5 to 10 minutes each team. Very brief, casual conversation. Okay. Then we're gonna talk about 6 dimensions of technology. Okay, 6 dimensions. You already have your own topics, so I'm not worried about that. Okay. So before we go, I want to make sure if everyone is ready to go, your audio, video, everything is okay, then please say yes. Your system should work perfectly today. Okay. Right. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. You will have a chance to evaluate all the team's presentations. Okay. All the team's presentations. Okay. So please go ahead on Canvas. Under the quiz, you will find presentation one. Presentation one. Okay. Then there are 6 questions, but these are just a survey, so you can evaluate other teams' presentation, all the teams, including your own team. Okay. So first question one is evaluate team one here. Okay. And question two, evaluate team two. Question three, evaluate team three here, and so on. So 1 through 5. 1 through 5. 1 is lowest score, 5 is highest. You can evaluate. Okay. All the teams' presentations here. Okay. Clear? All right. Any question, comment? We are going to talk about which team will present, okay? Because we don't have the teams, the presentations in order. So yeah, number one is team one. Number two is team two. Okay. So everyone's ready? We want to save our time. Okay. So Melody, you are the presenter. This is team one, right? Okay. Team one. Now, Melody, you are the presenter. So, team one, as soon as you are ready, please go ahead. Please go ahead. This is your stage. Team one is going to talk about AI, artificial intelligence. Okay?
Sorry. So again, yes, we are presenting on AI, artificial technology. I am Melody Aguilar, and our team is Brandon Bloomquist, Dominic Aldrich, and Jacob Blair. And we'll get to know a little bit about what is artificial intelligence.
So artificial intelligence is the capacity given by humans to machines to memorize and learn from experience, to think and create, to speak, and to judge and make decisions.
Okay.
Some of the AI in the market is the market of AI. It's so extensive and it's very accelerating at a really high growth rate. It says that AI could contribute up to 15 trillion to the global economy by 2030. Currently, it's evaluated in 119 billion just as of this year. Some of the top innovators of AI is Samsung, LG Electronics, and Microsoft. And it also says that in media and entertainment market, this was evaluated in 10.87 billion. And it's supposed to grow at a rate of 26.9 from 2022 to 2030.
So how can this help us? Throughout the years, AI has progressed from simple machine learning algorithms to advanced machine learning concepts such as deep learning. This growth in AI has helped companies solve complex issues such as fraud detection, medical diagnosis, and weather forecasting, and so on. It has also transformed our government to like allow less paperwork and quicker responses to whomever it may be. And it is also creating new roles and jobs.
All right, this is the fundamental point of AI. Okay, deep learning, deep learning, from simple learning to deep learning. Okay, you, you, we. Okay? I'm not gonna cover the details of the technology at this point. It is impossible in this time. But AI, you should focus on the deep learning. Okay, the technology of AI is fundamentally distinguishable from other internet technologies, learning, learning. Okay, other internet technologies, connections, okay, usage, data, whatever. But AI is different from them because it is running by itself and it improving. Okay, you need to remind this. Please go ahead.
Over the past few years, AI's prowess at mimicking humans has become exponentially more powerful, with various AI assistants like Siri becoming more lifelike than ever. Tesla and other companies having AI-driven autopilot for cars. Some being able to produce powerful writing and lifelike responses to questions such as ChatGPT or Stable Diffusion of Midjourney sorry, or Stable Diffusion or Midjourney, which can create their own artworks based on prompts. While the technology has led to various issues for Tesla, including crashing PR nightmares, methods of getting data libraries for artwork are questionable due to various libraries being built upon using various artworks without permission. There is a good amount of pushback against AI taking away jobs from more artistic fields. However, the fact remains that an AI generation and usage has become more mainstream and accessible than ever.
So we found four major dangers of AI. The first one's social manipulation, which is very effective at target marketing. It knows who we are, what we like, and pretty much what we think. And AI can actually target people and spread whatever information they like. as many people probably have experienced. If you talk about one thing, you'll probably see it in an ad on Instagram or any other social media places like that. The next one is invasion of privacy. It's possible to track and analyze someone's every move. And the key reason of this is surveillance, which uses facial recognition to know pretty much what someone does. And this invasion of privacy can actually turn to social oppression. And then we also have discrimination. Since AI can track someone, it could use it any way they want, and they can use any and all info against you. And then the fourth one is job loss, which for marketing, manufacturing, and healthcare, it's all those are expected to experience a large job loss due to automation. And as AI becomes smarter, tasks will pretty much require less humans to do the work.
And if someone else has any questions?
All right, any question, comment about AI? Once again, AI is a learning, okay? AI needs data for learning. Okay? I talked about big data, right? 3Ds. Why data is important? Because AI eats it. Okay? The food of AI is data. Okay? AI is a lot of data, and they learn and they improve by itself. This is main. This is the fundamental characteristics of AI. Okay, it is distinguishable from other internet technology. So we are going to talk about these 6 types of technology today. But think about that. How these technologies disconnected and connected. Yeah? You need to think about this. If you understand these fundamentals of this connections of these 6 topics, it will be great to understand the current trends of technology. Okay? All right, good. Who is the next? Any question, comment about AI? Yeah. So in this presentation, we are not engineers. So we are not going to approach engineering part, but we still need to understand the fundamentals of technology, and we need to approach in the business side. Okay, business side. Great. All right, great, team 1. Okay, next is team 2. Team 2, Internet of Things. So Jacob, you will be the presenter. Okay, this is a team 2. Jacob, you will be the presenter. So you can find share screen button right now. So the topic is Internet of Things.
I gotta enable permissions for it. Actually, I haven't shared screen on the computer before, so I have to allow Chrome to access it real quick.
Yeah, these are great things. So AI is all about learning, and we want to talk about Internet of Things, connectivities.
Okay, there we go. Are y'all able to hear me?
Yes, like I said.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, start the presentation.
Sounds good. So team 2, our topic was the Internet of Things. And so a little bit about what we're going to talk about today is what is IoT, common manufacturers and devices used in IoT, as well as common uses, some of the risks of IoT, and then we'll go back over what each of us talked about. But first of all, we're going to talk about what is IoT, and Bibu is going to tell us about that.
All right, so I'm just going to give a brief description of what IoT actually is. There's a definition that I got from a website. It's basically a system of interrelated computing devices, machine, and objects that have unique identifiers and ability to transfer data from one network to another without human interaction or even computer to device interaction. So this was termed during the dot-com bubble in 1999 when internet and devices and software and systems were becoming such a big thing and people saw a big opportunity there. And it was coined by a computer scientist who was actually working for Procter and Gamble, and he saw an opportunity in new market segment and then decided to kind of apply that at his work. So he recommended that they track their supply through radio identifying chips. Nowadays, you can track your Amazon and everything, so it's way advanced. But back in the day, even tracking your supply was such a big thing. So that's kind of how the idea of IoT started. IoTs are used by every company around the world, and just around us every day in our day-to-day life, because you need those to run computer software and systems since everything is online. But in the grand scheme of things, when I think of ITO, like forgetting definition, the key component is just basically the ability to transfer data and manage data and interlink two devices. So the key term here is just connectivity between two networks without using humans or computers. Jacob, if you click next, I have like an image that pops up. Yeah, so it's not very, yeah, so it kind of, I don't want to take Vanessa's part, but if when you think of IoT, it's basically whatever is around you that's smart. Your watch, cars, transportation, and every industry, like you can see, uses IoT. And it's such a booming industry, and we just can't avoid it. On the next slide, there's a brief graph on kind of the number of devices number of IoTs that have been invented or discovered in the last few years, starting in 2019. But you can see by 2025, there's a projection of 19 billion IoTs, which is kind of insane to think about how many new innovations and technology and connectivity we're going to have. So you can just see the progression over the years. We started at 8.6 billion, and in 2022, we're at 13.14, and we're at 15 in 2023. That's the estimate. So kind of just showing you that it's just an industry that's growing, and it's just at an exponential growth. So that's a little bit about IoT, and I'm going to pass it on to Jacob to talk about manufacturers and devices.
Yep. Thanks, Bibu. So some of the manufacturers and devices that you see around you are devices that are meant to make our lives easier. That's another one of the major things that you should think of whenever you hear IoT, because it's all interconnected, and because it's connected, it makes your life easier. So a lot of us have heard of the home devices such as Alexa and Google Home. So those are two images with Alexa on the left, which is the Echo Dot from Amazon, and then the Google Home on the right. And so these are AI assistants that are connected to the Internet of Things. So that's a way to connect the topics from the first two teams. But you can ask them questions, set reminders, what the weather is, and all sorts of different things to help you figure out information a lot faster and quicker. In terms of security, some popular ones are Unify cameras. These have been kind of growing because Unify has their own sectors of like access points, so you can do Wi-Fi and all sorts of things and connect them on the same network, so it can all be centralized and it's easy to manage and overlook everything in your security system, as well as doorbells like Ring and Nest. So we've all seen the Ring doorbells. If you see them on like TikTok or something, someone does something funny, they'll post it or things like that. So, and then around the house, popular garage door opener system is the MyQ. So that hooks up to your garage door, and you're able to control it from a smartphone. Some door locks, which is the Z-Mote. You can also do that from your phone. And then the Nest thermostat, which is an IoT sort of like central heating device. And up next, Vanessa is going to talk about some of the common uses of IoT devices.
So, like we mentioned earlier, there are multiple uses to IoT, and some of the most common ones I chose to go over were fitness trackers and smartwatches, self-driving cars, farming, manufacturing, and health and safety. Nowadays, multiple people will have their Apple Watches, and that is connected to your phone using IoT. So we can see all the data being transferred from your watch to your phone for easy accessibility. Self-driving cars are getting the latest technology, which makes it easier for that self-driving feature on the road. In farming, we're starting to see that with the growing of crops. For example, let's say you have a farm and you're testing the soil. You can set up a device that can track the soil and decide when it needs watering, or if you have a greenhouse that needs to have a proper humidity level, there will be a device that tracks that for you and automates the sprinkler system or whatever device it requires to set that back on track. In manufacturing, we're seeing that in absolutely everything as it enables companies to automate processes and reduce labor costs. And in health and safety, we see it at hospitals with the glucose and heart monitoring as well. So the gist of this is that IoT improves quality of life balance through its integration in everyday products, which makes everything easier for us. And now we'll go to the next slide.
Looking at the risks of IoT, we find that social media companies in Silicon Valley use our free data. This has been evident throughout Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook, in their history. Inadequate data protection leads companies to using the data against their own customers. Technology is growing, but the litigation process is slow, and we see this through the lack of checks and balances and accountability. Psychological and societal issues, dependency, overload on information, and an ability to connect with society in person, which has gotten worse post COVID. The inability to project and predict where IoT will be heading in the future. We've had exponential growth in technology, especially in our lifetimes, that there's a plethora of possibilities to further develop IoT. Bonet attacks, a group of bots that band together and perform a function. These functions include scams and cybercrimes, and then simple user errors such as poor password protection, account lockouts, and single-factor identification.
All right, good point, Ronnie. Thank you. Risk of IoT. IoT, Internet of Things, are all about connections, connectivity, right? Key term is connectivity. So, because it focuses on key term connectivity, okay, connectivity, hacking is a problem. Okay, that is the biggest risk. Then how to avoid, how to prevent, okay, how to prevent this threat is a blockchain technology, which we will talk about. Okay, so think about the connections, all right, between topics. Yeah, it seems that each topic has its own domain of technology, but actually these all the topics are interconnected. Okay, so think about this. Focus on this connectivity. Okay, and when you have these presentations, so AI learning and Internet of Things connectivity so far. Okay, then we'll talk about more topics. Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah. So just a quick summary to recap what we went through. Maybe we talked about what IoT is, and the key word to think there is connectivity. We've seen a large growth in the amount of IoT devices, and as time goes on, those are projected to gain numbers in the millions. And then what I talked about was the manufacturers and users. So it would be everyday businesses and people trying to make their lives easier through things like AI assistants, smart thermostats, garage door openers, anything of the sort like that. And it just makes your life easier. And then some of the common uses that we see is it's being inputted in technology like cars and other devices like that, just to make them work better since they can communicate with one another. And then thanks, Vanessa, for that. And then Ronnie talked about some of the risks of IoT, the biggest one being hacking and taking sensitive data from the customers. And that's what we got.
All right, great. Any question, comment? No? Okay, good presentations. Good presentations. So again, AI is all about learning, and Internet of Things is all about connectivity. Okay. Then we are gonna talk about cryptocurrency. Team 5. Okay, ready? Are you ready? You are the presenter right now.
Okay, let me see if this works. Wrong thing. Let's see. No, I won't.
Bottom right side, you will find a
Right. Oh, right here. Share my screen.
Mhm.
Got it. Let's see if it works. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes, I see it.
Perfect.
So Internet of Things, connectivity, and cryptocurrency, blockchain technology. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Is everybody ready? Team 5? I hope.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay, I'll go ahead and start. Okay, so a little bit about what cryptocurrency is. So, cryptocurrency is a class of digital assets. It is a virtual currency. It's very popular right now, so I'm sure you've heard a little bit about it, but you might not know exactly what cryptocurrency is. So, that's kind of like why we're here to kind of give you some background and some history. So yeah, like I said, it is a virtual currency and it's secured by a cryptography. Very hard to say. So what cryptography is, it basically makes it impossible for people to like counterfeit or double spin the tokens, which we'll talk about a little bit like what tokens are. But yeah, that's in place so people can't manipulate the system because it is virtual and there's a lot of hackers. So this allows people to buy, sell, and trade them securely. So unlike traditional fiat currencies, which are backed by usually a country's government, um, that basically takes like the central bank, which usually is like the middleman you could think of in a lot of our money transactions. So um, in cryptocurrency, that basically takes the middleman or the central bank out of the circumstance. So some of the top cryptocurrencies that y'all might have heard of is definitely Bitcoin. That's one of the most familiar ones around the world. Another one is Ethereum, and then Tether, and then the USD coin. So there are, while those are some of the top cryptocurrencies out there, there are many different ones out there. We found that there's over 22,000 different ones that are publicly traded. While some of the cryptocurrencies have a market valuation of billions and billions of dollars, some are um, literally worth nothing. And so that's what really is hard about cryptocurrencies. You definitely have to do your research. So Destin is going to talk about the next slide and go a little more in depth.
Okay, so how does cryptocurrency work? Cryptocurrency runs on a distributed public ledger called blockchain. So a blockchain maintains a tamper-resistant record of transactions and keep records of who owns what. Cryptocurrency and blockchain prevent people from making copies of their own holdings and attempt to spend it twice. So basically, it just prevents you from using the same asset twice, and it keeps everything organized. Cryptocurrency is not a tangible asset, meaning you can't touch it, and ownership simply allows you to move it from one record to another and measure from one person to another without a trusted third party. As you mentioned before, like it cuts out the bank out the entire equation. And some cryptocurrencies can be exchanged for goods or services, although it can also be used to participate in software programs like games and financial products.
Okay, hold on, please. I'm gonna talk about a little bit about blockchain technology here. Okay. All right, think about that. the existing system, the traditional system, think about Berry College. There is a central server, okay? And you have terminals, a lot of terminals around this central server. And from these terminals, you can connect the central server and take some information, okay? Something like that. This is a traditional system, okay? And the blockchain technology is a little bit different. Okay? Blockchain technology is a little bit different. All the ledgers are saved, all the records are saved in the central server and all the terminals too. Got it? Okay? So if somebody change, manipulate information in the server, it's a problematic because they need to change all the information in the server and all the information in the terminals. Okay? This is the key to prevent any hacking, improve security in the blockchain technology. We say this is a block. This is a fundamental difference between existing system and blockchain technology. So blockchain technology is all about security. Security. We talked about connectivity, learning. Okay. With this, we need to think about security too. Security too. So Bitcoins, cryptocurrency, is a simply speaking, think about that. We need to create all the blocks, maintain these blocks. It needs a lot of computing resources. Okay? A lot of computing resources. These computing resources provide from anywhere, okay? Anywhere. Okay? And your cryptocurrency is a certificate. Somebody provided these computing resources. So you have one Bitcoin, something like that. Better? Okay. I'm not gonna talk about details between cryptocurrency and Bitcoin technology, but you need to understand the fundamentals. Why we are talking about blockchain technology and Bitcoins. Okay? Security. Okay. All right. Please go ahead.
Okay, so although cryptocurrency is banned in a couple countries, including China, it is totally legal in the US. So it's basically up to the individual country whether or not they choose to allow cryptocurrency. Um, it's taxed differently than the US dollar because it's considered property rather than currency. It's viewed more as a tangible asset, even though technically it can't be possessed. And businesses and individuals alike can choose whether they want to accept crypto, which is different from the US dollar because it must be accepted for any sort of payment or debt. When crypto is taxed, the owner of the currency must pay the capital gains from selling or exchanging the currency, while the US dollar is taxed always at face value. And also, cryptocurrency is owned by means of payment. It's taxed on the value at the time it was received because the value of cryptocurrencies are changing constantly. They'll change from 5 to even 10% per day.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about how cryptocurrencies are created. So basically, their units are created through a process called mining. And so mining is just like using a computer to solve like complicated mathematical problems and puzzles that generate the coins or the tokens. And then it also just like verifies the authenticity and the transactions of the network to make sure that it's safe and everything. And then each time a transaction is placed, miners decrypt and authenticate the block containing the transaction information. And so then afterwards, the block is just added to the blockchain. And then this can be like an expensive process. So most miners just join pools to use computing power collectively. And then besides mining, it's also very common for people to buy from brokers or just exchange from other users.
So, kind of a review of what we've already talked about so far, just some pros and cons, because not everybody, cryptocurrency is not right for everybody to invest in. And so it's definitely just important to do your research and look at the white papers, which will be talked about a little later. Just figure out what the company stands for and kind of what their motives are. But anyways, so some of the pros, like we've talked about, is that it definitely takes the the third party, the central bank, out from the equation, which is good. Of course, like we've learned in all of our business classes, is that the bigger the risk, the higher reward that you could get potentially, and that's definitely true with cryptocurrency. And then the blockchain, of like we've talked about, is secure. But some of the cons to crypto is that, of course, the prices are going to change very rapidly all the time. A lot of people try to make money quick, and it can be done, but you just have to be really lucky. And so other times you can lose a lot of money if you time it wrong. So just like the stock market, you're going to lose money, you're going to gain money, but you just have to play it smart, have luck on your side. And then right now, governments are still kind of in the process of figuring out how do we regulate crypto, just rules and regulations to put it in place. So that's kind of a difficult thing to go about. And then, like I said in one of the earlier slides, is that crypto can be a scam, and some of the tokens can be completely worthless. And that's another reason why you just got to do your research and talk to other people about it. So Dustin.
All right. So a few things to look out for would be fake websites, celebrity endorsements, and online romance scams. So when it comes to fake websites, bogus sites which features fake testimonials and crypto jargon promises massive guaranteed returns. That's one thing to look out for. Scammers can also pose as online billionaires or well-known names who promise to multiply your investments. That's another thing to look out for. A few red flags. And for online romance scams, more than 1,800 reports of crypto-focused romance scams in the first 7 months of 2021, with losses reaching $133 million. So any of these red flags, you should just stay away from to be safe.
Okay, so obviously it's up to the investor, or the individual, I should say, whether or not they want to invest in crypto. But it is more of a high risk, like Maddie said, so it's unpredictable, and that definitely drives some people away from investing. Every cryptocurrency project includes white papers, which should tell the investor everything they need to do. So, for example, it'll explain what the developers of the project intend for their work, time frame, overview, etc. And the white paper is the team of developers' chance to lay out who, what, when, and why of their project. So if the white paper feels incomplete or misleading, then that can reveal the fundamental issues with the project itself.
And Maddie pretty much touched on this earlier in the presentation, but I wanted to put a few numbers with the names. So our top five most popular cryptocurrencies will be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, USD coin, and Binance coin. So as you can see, the market cap for Bitcoin is $458 billion. Next, you come in at $216 billion with Ethereum. Tether come in at $66 billion, USD coin with $54 billion, and Binance coin with $52 billion.
And that's all we have. Oh, goodness.
Okay, I lost some connections for a while, but I understand the what you're saying, the cryptocurrencies. So once again, okay, cryptocurrency is a certificate. You provide some computational capabilities for blockchain technology. So blockchain technology is all about what? Security. Okay, so we were talking about learning with AI, connectivity with Internet of Things, then security with a cryptocurrency. Okay, right? Any question, comment? Okay, let's go then. Biotech, team 4. Team 4. So Harvey, you are now Harvey, you are the presenter. Okay. So team 4 is gonna talk about biotechnology. Okay. Once again, on the canvas, you can evaluate all the team's presentations. Please go ahead, evaluate presentations. It's great, AI and biotech.
Hold on just a second. I'm trying to figure out how to full screen it. Just give me a second.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Y'all ready?
Yes, I can see it.
All right. So we're team 4. My name's Keegan, and my teammates are Maggie, Lois, and Harvey. And our technology is biotechnology drug development. Perfect. Yeah. So what are biotech drugs? So at its simplest, biotechnology is a technology based on biology. Biotechnology harnesses cellular and biomolecular processes to develop technologies and products that can help our lives and health of our planet. We have used biological processes of microorganisms for like more than 6,000 years, and to make useful products or food products like bread and cheese, and also preserve dairy. And that comes from the Biotechnology Innovation Organization. And so some examples of biotech drugs are like insulin and gene therapy, molecular diagnosis, and edible vaccines.
Yeah, so it first appeared in 1980, and the first example was Humulin, which it was the first insulin to be made, and it was made from specially modified bacteria. And basically, how it was made, it was like genetically engineered, and it was the first product that was available to customers. There had been things before it, but it was the first one that was available for purchase by customers.
So I thought this was very impactful because biotechnological developments in the medical field have had a great impact on healthcare. Especially we see this in insulin. So I wanted to talk a little bit about insulin. The price of accessing insulin has become really, really hard. I was doing some research, and it was essentially like anywhere from $50 to like $1,000 for monthly insulin. This is in part because there's only 3 manufacturers for insulin, and that's Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, and Sanofi, I think. I'm not totally sure, but yeah.
So this technology is changing in some ways. And what's interesting, like someone else presented on this early on, AI is changing a lot of things in a lot of different ways, but it's actually reached out into the biotech research, and it's actually changing that as well. And one way it's like changing it is by training cells how to respond, and AI is predicting how cells are going to respond to each kind of chemical structure. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
It is exactly. AI is up the all the data and learn something. Okay, so this is a good example. Okay, please go ahead.
So I took a look at a article posted by Deloitte, and they did some research on how the biotech business side of everything worked. And so some successful biotech companies look to build an end-to-end entity from R&D to commercialization, bringing their products to market themselves. For other biotech companies, most of their attention remains on their research and development, and among those which are research and develop focused, some take a diversified approach, expanding the number of assets significantly across multiple therapeutic areas and relying heavily on revenue generated through collaboration deals to progress assets past preclinical and phase 1 trials. So biotechnology is expensive, and instead of focusing on a certain type of illness or like trying to find like a solution for that, they'll usually do bigger, broader research and then have like other companies do smaller ones. And I read that venture capital investments have a lot of impact with that. And drugs are often set to be co-commercialized with a partner so that they could split the cost. And others generate value in a similar vein, but through a more focused approach, driving research and development forward with limited investments in diversification while creating optionality for potential launch or out licensing deals. So in the little graphic that's included, it's a little small to see, but it talks about like market, so they can go either regional or global. Go to market, they could go with partners or they can go alone, but there's like pros and cons to each side. And timing is also a big one because they could speed up the research process and get a quick win, or they can take a little bit longer to research more and create a better product and make more money in the long term.
All right, great, Lois. Thank you so much. I want to emphasize some points here. Biotechnology and traditional chemical-based, pharmaceutical technologies. Biotechnology is all about protein, okay? Manipulation of your protein. This is a biotechnology. And pharmaceutical industry, pharmaceutical technology, chemicals, okay? So chemicals versus proteins, okay? For proteins, we have some maps, genome projects. We have some maps, okay? RNA, DNA. So we know how we manipulate this thing, then what happened here. We know these things. Not everything, but we know some of this, okay? In a pharmaceutical, chemicals, we don't know at all. We don't know at all. We don't know the connections among these chemical elements. All the processes are close to random. Okay? So, information versus random. Okay? So think about that. From this setting. Okay? Biotechnology, using information. Okay? It it speed up R&D. That means because we only use information, okay? Then it reduce cost, okay? Also, it increases differentiations, as Lois talked about, okay? Then in the chemical things, pharmaceutical things, we cannot. That's why biotechnology is replaced, okay? It's replacing the traditional pharmaceutical technologies. Okay? If you understand this, this is a great example of what? Reduce cost, increase product differentiations with a technology. This is a biotechnology. So biotechnology at this time is very close to the information technology too, because it is all about information. It is all about connectivity. Okay? So we talked about Internet of Things and AI. AI, Internet of Things, are also involved with biotechnology. So once again, I'm talking about connections between technology. These connections between technologies, you need to try to understand this. Okay? Great. Any question, comment about biotechnology? Okay, then let's move to team 6, battery technology. Emma, you are gonna be the presenter, right? So Lois, it was a great presentation. Good point. So Emma, you are the presenter right now.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, perfect.
Batteries, hardwares.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So we're Team 6. We did our presentation on battery. So I'm gonna start kind of talking on like the historical development of batteries, because if you want to go to the next slide, Emma Claire, they actually were first invented a lot longer ago than I would have expected when I started doing the presentation. So that image on the right is actually one of the first batteries that was ever invented. It's called a voltaic pile, and it's basically a mix of a few elements and then salt water, and that was used to conduct a charge. But it's crazy to think that the first battery was over 200 years ago that it was first created. We fast forward a little bit farther to 1859, and we have the first rechargeable battery, which was called the lead acid battery. And then, interestingly enough, that type of battery is actually still used today. Obviously, it's undergone some changes, but it is commonly found in cars. So it's the battery that's inside your vehicle that will power your radio, your lights, your gauges, everything once your car is actually started. And as we kind of come up on more modern times, an important use of batteries today is storing energy generated primarily by alternative energy sources. So a big importance is developing more capacity in batteries, which is why now the current batteries that we have are primarily lithium ion. So you can go to the next slide, Claire. So that's a lithium ion battery on the left. And they were invented in 1980 to kind of satisfy demand for batteries that were smaller, more efficient, safer, and that were more rechargeable. So these batteries are found in your phone, your computer, other personal electronic devices, as well as like solar power and other alternative energy sources. And these were created, like I said, to recharge more efficiently, hold more power, and the hope was and still is to transition more and more away from fossil fuel energy. So now Brendan is going to talk about a few more applied uses of battery technology.
So nanotechnology is like an improvement of the lithium-ion battery, and in the 1990s, Godinow pioneered a way to shrink batteries down to a nanoscale that was not dangerously reactive, which was previously considered to be impossible. So like this allowed like them to shrink the batteries to be small enough to fit in like phones and laptop computers, so they weren't like too bulky. And it also made them more efficient and, like I said, smaller. Go to the next slide. And then what's becoming increasingly popular is electric cars. They've started becoming popular in like the 2010s. And right now they use these battery packs that have thousands of cylindrical lithium-ion batteries. And the limitations of that is, since they're all cylindrical and most of the battery packs are rectangular, you're not getting the most efficient use of space. So there's now a new technology that's going to be coming out in the next few years called solid state batteries, which will allow companies to make the battery packs more compact and more energy efficient. And so they can make the cars lighter, which is a problem with electric cars. They weigh a lot more than like the equivalent gasoline powered car. So then they also have higher conductivity, which will allow them to charge faster, which is also a problem with electric cars, and have higher heat resistance. And this will allow for businesses to be more efficient with them.
Okay, this time, this is a transition period from lithium-ion batteries to what? Full cell batteries. Full cell batteries. Okay, I want you to recognize full cell batteries. It is a high possibility that these full cell batteries can be the next generation of the battery for electric cars. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead.
So the battery throughout the years has added a lot of value to businesses. One way that it has done that is because it has made technology more efficient, because it's easier to store and use energy. You can also use your battery from anywhere, and so it has allowed computers and mobile technology to be able to be used anywhere, where beforehand you would have a computer that would take up the entire room. Now we have these small computers that we can take wherever we want to go, and they are able to last longer than they used to be able to, all because of these different transitions throughout the batteries. The batteries are able to maintain a balance between supply and demand in the power industry. So the developments in batteries that we've talked about has provided a lot of competitive advantages throughout the years since the 1800s. So each change in batteries has resulted from changes in the market and the demand that everybody has been wanting. So the changes in batteries have provided competitive advantages in different areas of businesses, specifically when it comes to technology, and also with now electric cars. The race to create the smallest, fastest charging battery with the longest life has taken over different areas of technology. So, a lot of different times you'll see different phone companies saying that their phone battery will last longer than others. You also see with the batteries like the AA and the AAA, those different companies are saying that their batteries will last longer than others, and it creates a lot of competitive advantage within that. Not only is there a competition between businesses, but also between countries. So right now, the United States is trying to increase their competitive advantage when it comes to batteries, not only in businesses, but also in military. And so there are a lot of different research and development programs that have been created in the United States so that we can develop our competitive advantage amongst other countries within the battery industry.
All right. Good insight. Good insight.
So, kind of just in conclusion, we looked at how the batteries were invented in the 1800s and became rechargeable, and now that we really depend on lithium ion batteries. Again, this has really impacted, especially the technology world, as a race to like nanotech and trying to make the most efficient and smallest batteries possible. This again like plays into the practical future of batteries, specifically looking at things such as electric cars that will start using this as an energy source rather than fossil fuels, etc. And then again, batteries have created a ton of efficiencies in business. They just make everything more efficient. And again, a lot of businesses and countries, as Emma Claire just touched on, are racing to make the most efficient and the smallest battery possible.
All right. Is that it, Elizabeth?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Any question, comment? It's great. Great. Okay. It is very interesting to see the battery. Think about that batteries. Drastic innovations. We want to talk about it with the technology. Drastic innovations. Replacement. One technology is replaced by other technologies. Again, again, and again. Batteries, any elements, if between two elements electricity flows, it can be batteries. Okay? So there are many combination of potential elements of battery. Okay? People try to find better one. These days they focus on what? Full cell. Okay? Full cell. It's not stable yet, but it is very promising. Okay, so probably we'll see it. The point is that replacement by some other technologies. Okay, drastic innovation. We're gonna talk about in the following chapters. Okay, great. All right, who is the next? The last one is what? Quantum physics. Okay, team 3. So you will be the presenter, right? Any question, comment about battery? Okay, let's go. Will Harrington, You are the presenter. Please go ahead.
Oh,
And Keith.
can everyone see my screen? Is this
Yes.
working properly?
Okay. We share. You can find button.
Oh, I see.
Right side.
Now is it working?
Yeah, it is working.
Okay, awesome. So we had for our presentation quantum physics, which is quite a complicated study of science. So just to simplify it, quantum physics is the study of matter at the most fundamental and atomic level. It, in general, can open up new possibilities to atomize materials and products, create new fields of technology, and can transform the view of how others view space and time. And some scientists even believe that overall it could reveal how everything in the universe, from everything here on Earth to the far reaches of our galaxy, are all interconnected. So from our research, we found that quantum physics is based around 4 primary concepts, those being wave-particle duality, which has some energy, is not exactly a particle or a wave, it's somewhere in between. The concept of entanglement, which allows 2 or more objects being connected in one single system. Superposition, which is an object in multiple states at once. And then the uncertainty principle, which is an object's velocity and position cannot always be known at the same time. Lakeith, I think this was your slide.
So quantum physics and business. So it's 4 main principles. So you have duality, you have uncertainty, you have entanglement, and you have quantization. So with duality, you as a leader, you are one entity, and your customer is another entity. So y'all have 2 separate goals what you're trying to reach in this transaction, but you're both working together to achieve that one goal. And uncertainty, there's always uncertainty in business because you don't know what might happen. I mean, I think especially with businesses lately, especially when COVID hit, I mean, nobody predicted COVID would happen, and it's just so much to predict, and you have to prepare for the worst case scenario at all times. You also got to prepare for the best case scenario at the same time. And so with entanglement, you experience entanglements when you connect with other companies or customers and begin doing business. So once you involved with the customer or a business, you kind of entangle and you kind of depend on them and they depend on you for certain needs and wants. And then with quantization is a combination of all, and it pretty much is all those steps work together to be able to work together. And that's kind of what it is.
What it is a metaphor.
Say that again.
It's like a philosophical. It's like a metaphor. Quantum physics in business.
Yeah.
Okay, please go ahead. Interesting.
Next slide.
Okay, so quantum computing is a form of quantum physics that involves the optimization of algorithms, data science, and quantum chemistry. Optimization algorithms are used mainly in advanced problem solving. Quantum computers can help to determine maximum efficiency in areas such as operations management and supply chain optimization. Any operation that relies on streamlining processes can be improved through the use of quantum computing. And as for data science, it's a form of quantum computing that's mainly used in analyzing big data. Through the use of data science, extremely complex calculations can be solved effortlessly. So this is particularly useful for things such as fraud detection, financial valuation, and risk management. And finally, quantum chemistry is a form of quantum computing used in properly handling molecular properties. This is essential to conducting molecular simulations and simplifying lab work. Quantum chemistry is mainly used in drug and pharmaceutical research, but it can also be helpful in designing less harmful plastics, alternative fuel possibilities, and microchips.
Okay, so one final piece of quantum physics in business is quantum communication. Quantum communication is just the superposition and the entanglement that the banking industry, financial industry, and credit card industries all have in common, where they have a central database. They also have like your phones, computers, where you can access your information. This is important because they have to keep all the information safe. This is done because, like it says, photons or light is transmitting data along optical cables. And then they come through as ones and zeros simultaneously. And if anybody tries to hack it, it'll just crash on the spot. So all your stuff is completely safe. Like I said, it's in the banking industry where they protect all your client information. In the financial industry, they safeguard all this critical business data. And then obviously for credit card industries, they protect your credit card information and all the other stuff they know about you, so that all your stuff can be in a million different places at once and you can see it, but it can also be very, very safe.
Okay, at this point, I want to emphasize some points, okay, about quantum physics. Okay? Quantum physics means, okay, why we care about quantum physics, because it increased our computational capability. That means quantum computer. Okay, many people are talking about quantum computer. Basically, the information system is based on our message. Okay, is a digital. Digital. That means 0 or 1. Okay, it is fixed, 0 or 1. The quantum bit is not fixed. That means you cannot understand, everything, but that means you can increase computational capabilities a lot. Okay, that means quantum computer can compute okay, what you couldn't compute with existing computers. Okay? So this is a big difference. So I talked about blockchain technology. We need a lot of computational capabilities to create blockchain and maintain the blockchain technologies. Okay, so the existing computers do not have enough computational capability to break blockchain technology. But quantum physics, quantum computer, it increased computational capability, okay, uncomparably, totally different concept. Then actually blockchain technology can be broken by quantum computing. So we need a better security system with the rise of quantum computing. Okay? So quantum physics is involved with blockchain technology and things like this. Okay? If blockchain technology is broken, cryptocurrencies for what? Nothing. Okay? So it is interconnected in this way. Okay? So we need to okay, the fundamentals of quantum physics. Then we can guess, oh, this is involved with this, it impacts this technology, then what happened in here? Okay? So we can understand this. That's why we are talking about different domains of technology that are connected with each other. Okay. Okay, please go ahead.
And that was it, and that concludes our presentation.
All right, great. Thank you so much. So we talked about 6 different topics of technologies. Then already talked about this connections between technologies. So this technology, okay, connected other technologies. If this technology happens something, then it impacts other technologies too. Okay, connectiveness. So this time we talked about just 6 topics, okay? But there are tons of topics of technology. So AI, we talked about learning with the data. Internet of Things, connectivity, quantum physics, it increased computational capability. Batteries, radical innovation replaced by other technologies. Cryptocurrency, security, battery, again, radical innovations. Okay, great, great. Great jobs, great jobs. Any question, comment about your presentations, technologies? So we just taste, okay, all the technologies. But once again, we cannot understand the fundamentals. We are not engineers, so we don't understand the fundamentals and details of technology, but we still need to understand the basics, okay, of the technology, and also we need to have some knowledge about the approach in terms of business. Okay. All right. Great jobs. Great jobs. Good presentations. So next time we gonna meet and talk about simulations. So please, whenever you have a chance, just go ahead, start your simulations. Okay. Any question, comment? Everything's all right? Then I'm gonna see you on Wednesday. Okay? Wednesday. Okay, you did a great job today. Thank you so much. No, Canvas, there is no instructions, Maggie. You can download the manual from the website, from the simulation website. Then you should read the manuals very, very carefully. Okay. All right, great. I will see you on Wednesday, Maggie.
You are currently the only person in this conference.